some people want to be independent and some people don't, and all of that. So that's very basic stuff. So that would require maybe some training around that. Bringing in somebody from BADIG, bringing in Anne-Marie or somebody from one of the organisations around disability who would do some training around that. And that person we've already identified and charged with responsibility within the network, within the organisation, they will take on to do that.
And then the other side then is
the other side is what is it that we, as going away from this conference, what are the three things we should do within the next 6 months to a year? And that's where the census comes up. That's where Kathleen's political lobbying comes up. Clearly it is very useful and important that somebody with a disability is going to take responsibility within BRL. And I would encourage you maybe to say we don't feel hugely confident right now with BRL's participation. They may have done a survey, but just in terms of a general attitude thing, I don't think, I wouldn't be encouraged that they're taking it seriously.
Therefore, I would be interested in actually asking BRL, can BADIG be involved in examining the questionnaire that they have in order to make it effective? Because if I'm asked at the door, and if I have a disability and I haven't acknowledged it yet, and I see a question like, do you have special needs? I'm certainly not going to answer the question. So that's quite vague. So what does that mean if I'm being asked, do I have special needs? I think it's, the questionnaire or whatever.
Or even just to find out what is it they're doing with that questionnaire. What are they going to do with this questionnaire? What purpose? Is it for housing purposes? Is it for
the overall development? Is it for,
how are they going to feed that in?
And who are they going to feed it to?
And who are they, where is their training from? Yeah. Because the person we talked to from the board, the councillor, he seemed to be positive, but he was being political. He was being political with us. He was saying, yes, I put it on the agenda. Of course, he would say that.
But maybe BADIG needs to write a letter to the BRL requesting somebody,
but
like we did with the women.
In terms of, again, it's a resources issue.
I don't think we need to get...
No, but what do we want? What you were saying, what do we want as BADIG to come out of today?
But BADIG, it's very clear. What we're identifying a lot of stuff here is this is all resource. This is all going to cost something to BADIG, that entity. So, I don't know, we haven't really identified it in terms of stuff, but they're going to have to get money from somewhere.
I think somebody needs to be employed.
BADIG
needs to apply for funding to employ a development worker or employ a consultant who will monitor the actions that have been identified, that have been agreed at this conference today. That's what they need to do. They need to be making links with the groups on the ground. They need to be, on behalf of BADIG.
But I would even say at this stage is that they need, even to have a resource person, to have somebody who's been paid, maybe that they're not doing all the work, but that
supported.
But that there is somebody who's been paid within the area who is associated with BADIG, because right now it's just, Tony and Dinah need a lot of support, and that needs resourcing. You can't just say, they need support. You need to resource that support. So I think that actually should be something that maybe encourage and say, well, we need to, the group needs to go away and get some definite funding for this, because otherwise, after 6 months, people are going to lose interest, and this is going to get pushed down the agenda.
But then maybe what we need to say...
my sense of, if I was outside now and I had no disability awareness, all I would, from our conversation here, is draw funding, money down the Swanee, blah, blah. We haven't, I touched on it today, and I think what I did today, we need to do a full day on without any actions, is actually work with smaller groups.
Good afternoon, everybody. That's hello in sign language. Well, I'm glad you could all make it. We set it for this afternoon so that those of you here with special needs, you could make use of the free transport and your free bus passes, okay? And so you wouldn't get mixed up with all of those people going to work. Okay, right. Now, we've invited you all here today so that we can listen to your needs, okay? We're here to listen. Sorry, but not just yet. If you could just save questions till a little bit later. Right, lovely. Now, oh, sorry. Did you want someone to take you to the toilet? Oh, well, there should be some PAs around here somewhere. That's personal assistants to the rest of us. Right, okay. Now, you've all been invited here so that we can listen to your needs. Now, I need to check if we have representatives here from all the different organisations. Right. Now, are we ready? Okay, here we go. Now, cerebral palsy, multiple sclerosis, spina bifida, deaf, blind and visually impaired, people with mental handicap. Oh, sorry. We don't say that anymore. People with learning difficulties. Let me see. Schizophrenia. Diabetes. Etc. etc. Good. We're all here. Great. Now, I'm sorry, I'm just checking. We do have professional representatives from all of those organisations, don't we? Good, yes. Great. That's wonderful, thank you. Right, now, let me see. Okay, we've invited you here so that, are you still waiting to go to the toilet, dear? Sorry, there's PAs around here somewhere. Sorry about that. Okay. Sorry, dear. Sorry. Okay, now, what I'd like us to do is maybe bring somebody down from one of those organisations and maybe they can tell us a little bit about what they'd like to see us do for them. Okay? Right. So let's start with the hardest first. Any brave person here with cerebral palsy like to come down? Any volunteers? You're still waiting for the toilet. Will somebody sort this one out, please? Oh, you're volunteering. I see. Right. Great, lovely. Well, everybody, big round of applause, please. Come on down. Listen, I'd just like to say I'll be looking for someone with spina bifida next. Okay? Right. Now listen. Speak nice and slowly and clearly. Right. Now, what would you like to say? What can we do for you? What are your needs?
I haven't been hand up all this time. What's the second point in all this?
Oh, sorry. We've invited people with disabilities along here today.
I know. I've been through this before. Yeah? The equality bill, lying from government shelf somewhere.
Yeah, sorry, dear, but there's no need to be negative. I mean, things have changed since then.
What's that here?
I'm on your side. Aren't we all disabled in some ways?
No, you're not.
Oh, yes, we are.
No, you're not.
Oh, yes, we are.
No, you're not. These things are cool, though. They're called the APGs, anti-patronizing disabilities. And by the way, right? I'm a star. Special people down sent here to train our colleagues in how to hand over the money and the power to us. So today, you might notice that we have one or two disabled people working as porters, telephone operators, in the civil service, highly trained men and women, trained in a spa training camps in the sewers of Brussels. Yeah, well, we're a bit unhappy with the speed of progress of disabled people into positions of power. They seem to be all hanging on as a telephone operators and porters. So, I've been sent here to persuade a colleague who has all the work and all the money to hand over that to us and we do a better job. So, with my trusty APG in hand, we're going to rehabilitate comrades here. And also on the topical wages we're quite trying to reach. So by rehabilitation, we mean getting all that EU government money laundered into their hands. So let's see what happens.
Oh, sorry, do you want someone to take you to the toilet?
Yeah, back to the class.
Right, what I'd like to do now is maybe bring someone up from one of those organisations and maybe they can tell us a little bit about what they'd like to see us do for them. Oh, here's one I made earlier. Right, and remember, next I'll be looking for someone with spina bifida, okay?
Anyway, Billy Noah's Ark.
I'm sorry, Noah's Ark.
Huge spiny bifida, 2 7 walls.
You people have such a great sense of humour. No. What we wanted to include everybody. Inclusion, that's the key word.
What about those over to our idealites? Email to the dose of EU?
Magnificent. This is what we want. Participation, inclusion. Now, look, I don't think I've heard of those, but if you give me their address, then I could send a letter to them straight away. Yes.
I may do.
Oh. So I shouldn't send a letter to anybody with EU syndrome or with email. But how do I make sure everybody's included?
Hey, just ask people to come. They have to convince to come.
Look, but I've done this with the lone parents, the travellers, the long-term unemployed.
And does anybody know?
That's not the point, Dick.
Yeah, well, we're down parents, we're travelers, we're long-term unemployed.
Oh, don't stop. This is too much. I never realised there was all this potential. Well, I thought the lone parents, the travellers and the long-term unemployed were great for attracting grants and EU funding.
We're long-term unemployed, we're long-parents, and we're travelers.
Oh, no, look, stop. This is all too much. I never in my wildest oppressed minority dreams suspected there was all this potential. Listen, I must get some more information out of you. Now, tell me about these people. How many are unemployed?
Well, 81%.
81%. And how many of you go on to third level education?
No, 0.4%.
Right. You really are a mine of information. I must get you to come and meet my consultancy friends, and you can tell them all about it. We pay your travel expenses. Oh, but you get a free bus pass, don't you? But listen, come anyway. We'd be delighted to meet you.
I think something's gone slightly wrong here. All I can see is parents coming to my but all is not lost. Us guys were trained in hand-to-hand combat. we're charity workers. But let's move on to plan B. And by the way, to say people, if you're doing this at home, make sure your parents are doing it.
These 81%, how many of them are unemployed?
81%.
Oh, sorry. Listen, and never in my wildest oppressed minority dreams did I dream there was all this potential. Listen, I must have more information. Tell me about the long-term unemployed.
Well, to say 81% to say people are unemployed.
And how many go on to third level education?
And 0.4%.
You really are a mine of information. I must get you to meet my consultancy friends. They'd be delighted to meet you, and we pay your travel expenses. Oh, but you have a free bus pass, don't you? Oh, no, sorry. But come anyway, we'd be...
And we're getting paid for years of my expertise and a spot.
I'm sorry, you disabled people just don't have the qualifications.
Well, disabled people are trained. Yep, BCODP. British Council of Disabled People. DPO, Disabled People International.
No, look, I'll have to stop you there. You're using the wrong terminology.
What?
It's people with disabilities.
People with MS, people with cerebral palsy. You just continue your whole medical smaller disabilities.
No, your people first.
I know what people could, but people who can't get work, people who can't get jobs, people who can't get a proper education, people who can't get the part as actors, playing the day people, second in their youth.
Oh, isn't he gorgeous? Even as Christy Brown.
Are you married?
Look, this is just a professional relationship, okay?
No, I'm cold from all that book. And by the way, this professional relationship, how far are you willing to go with?
Well, that all depends. I mean, first of all, we'll have to identify all the barriers to your empowerment, and there are so many. Well, keep me employed for ages. Well, you could come along too. Let me see. There's education and employment, so many of them. I got it!
What?
You're disabled by society!
Oh, George, you got it!
Oh, wait till my consultancy friends hear this.
Yeah.
Yes, now all these